Welcome to the Garden of Forgotten Feelings. This is a dreamlike interactive emotional landscape, a world built using Base 44, light AI logic, and generative design. It is a place where forgotten emotions don't disappear, they grow. The Garden of Forgotten Feelings is an interactive web dream world that reacts to the user's emotions through text. Every feeling the user shares becomes a seed planted in a surreal, shifting garden. Over time, this garden remembers those emotions, lets them mutate, allows them to age, whispers back, and transforms, just like real emotional memory. As soon as the user enters, they're surrounded by drifting gradients, glowing plants, particle fog, and soft motion. They type a sentence describing a feeling, and the entire environment morphs in real time. Colors shift, shapes grow, memories form, and poetry appears. No two sessions ever feel the same. Every emotion leaves its trace. Our project incorporates all 5 Dreamware fragments: fluid interface, emotional memory, temporal shifts, voice of the machine, and metamorphic media. Together, these fragments create a surreal emotional ecosystem, alive, unpredictable, and deeply personal. Fluid interface. The interface behaves more like a living organism than a website. Elements drift as if underwater. Particles flow around the user's input. Gradients breathe with subtle pulse animations. The garden bends, glows, ripples, and reacts to typing rhythm and cursor movement. Nothing stays still. The UI feels soft, organic, and fluid. Emotional memory. Every feeling the user types becomes a memory seed. These seeds are saved locally, not as data, but as emotional traces. When a user returns, older feelings appear as evolved plants, floating orbs, or glowing fragments. The garden becomes a visual diary of emotional states, continuously shaped and reshaped by the user's past. Temporal shifts. Inside this world, time behaves strangely. Old memories fade, wilt, or drift into the sky. New ones bloom with brightness. If the user stops interacting, the entire garden slows down as if it's falling asleep. And every reload feels like waking into a new dream, familiar, yet subtly altered. Metamorphic media. Every visual element morphs based on emotional input. Sadness darkens the fog and slows the motion. Joy brightens colors and accelerates particle flow. The world is always evolving, always becoming. Voice of the machine. At unexpected moments, the garden whispers to the user. Short lines of dream poetry appear like thoughts drifting into consciousness. These subtle whispers give the garden a quiet, eerie presence, like it is alive and aware. Emotion analysis. Instead of heavy AI or voice processing, the garden uses a lightweight text-based emotion engine. It detects emotional cues: calm, angry, lonely, joyful, nostalgic, and lets these guide the garden's transformation. Memory growth system. Each emotional seed grows into a unique organism: a floating orb, a glowing vine, a drifting petal, or a tiny lantern. Over time, the garden becomes a living map of the user's emotional past. The atmosphere is built to feel like a dream. Soft gradients, drifting particles, subtle glass-like distortions, organic pulsing motion, and cinematic transitions. Every visual decision enhances the sensation that emotions are shaping the environment around you. The front-end dream world is built using Base 44 as the primary builder. The emotion engine is a lightweight JavaScript system. Local storage maintains emotional memory over time. Procedural animations, dynamic CSS variables, and color morphing keep the environment alive. Soundscape, timing, and whisper logic create reactive ambience. All of this is optimized for stability, smoothness, and a surreal sense of presence. In the actual experience, the user enters the garden, types a feeling, and instantly the world transforms. A memory seed appears and becomes part of the landscape. The garden whispers a line of dream poetry. When a user returns later, Their old emotions have grown or decayed. The garden evolves with each visit, becoming a personal, emotional universe. As soon as we enter the garden, you can see that nothing behaves like a normal interface. The background is made of soft, drifting gradients. The fog is gently moving, and tiny particles float around as if the entire environment is breathing. The garden feels alive, waiting. Now I'll type a simple feeling. I feel calm today. Watch what happens. The colors shift into softer, cooler tones. The animation slows into a peaceful rhythm. And right there, a small glowing orb appears. That a memory seed formed from the emotion we just shared. Every feeling the user enters becomes one of these seeds. They float, drift, grow, or fade depending on their emotional tone and their age. This one is new, so it's bright and soft. Now, let's give it a different kind of feeling. This time I'll type, I'm frustrated about something. Notice how the dream shifts. The fog thickens slightly, the colors deepen, and sharp pulses ripple through the plants. The motion becomes quicker, more tension, more edge. And we get a new seed, but this one behaves differently. It flickers with sharper light and moves with a more urgent drift. Every emotion has its own life form. Every seed we've created stays in the garden. They're saved locally, not as data, but as emotional traces. So when we return later, these seeds will have changed. Some will have grown into vines or flowers. Some will fade or wilt. Some will float higher into the sky and quietly vanish. The garden always evolves based on our emotional history. This is the garden of forgotten feelings. A place where everything you feel becomes a living memory, growing, changing, whispering, and dreaming with you. We focused heavily on technical polish, smooth animations, stable performance, seamless environmental transitions, emotion-driven variables, memory lifecycle logic, and asynchronous whisper generation. The result is an immersive, dream-grade experience that feels both technically strong and artistically soft. The Garden of Forgotten Feelings is designed to make users feel seen. Every emotion becomes a physical artifact. They can watch their emotional landscape evolve over time, sometimes blooming, sometimes fading, always alive. It is gentle, cathartic, and hauntingly beautiful. This project introduces a completely new idea, a digital garden that grows from your forgotten feelings. It blends art, emotion, interaction, and dream logic into a personal, ever-changing world. No traditional app behaves this way. It is truly a dream world, unique to each user. In this garden, your feelings never fade. They grow,